Hey friends, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride, and in today's video, I want to talk you through some of my most used methods to fix mistakes in my bullet journal as they happen. These are my 5 favorite easy methods to quickly cover up and fix mistakes. Let me know in the comments if there are any methods I missed. Method number 1. This is my most used method and it's the easiest. This method is inspired by our good old friend Whiteout. I used to love me some Whiteout when I was growing up. I had every different type of Whiteout you could possibly have. Liquid Whiteout that you used with a brush, the roll-on tape Whiteout, you name it, I had it in my pencil case. These days I prefer to use either a white gel pen or a white paint pen, but Whiteout does just as well. This one's super straightforward. If you make a little mistake, let it dry completely and then cover it up with either Whiteout, a white gel pen, or a white paint pen. Let that layer completely dry and then write on top of it. It's always good to test out whatever method you plan on using in your bullet journal before you use it to fix a mistake, because depending on your paper and depending on the pens you like to use, some methods may work better than others. My 2 favorite things to use for this are either my white gel pen by AUDIBLE. It's their Signo Broad white gel pen. This is the best white gel pen I have ever used and I swear by it. Or the Uni Posca paint pens. The paint pens come in a bunch of different tip sizes, so it's always nice to have a broader tip and a finer point tip so that depending on the size of the mistake, you have the perfect thing to cover it up. Just keep in mind that the paint pens do bleed on certain types of papers, so definitely test them out before you use them. A nice benefit to using the Posca paint pens is that they come in a lot of different colors, including different shades of off-white or cream. So if your paper isn't a true white and white gel pens or Whiteout stand out on your paper, you could always try to find the perfect shade in a paint pen. I used this method in my November setup. If you watched that video, you will have seen that I made a mistake. I wrote the 9th twice, so I had an extra day in my month. I didn't catch it until I uploaded the video, so I pulled out my BuJo and my white gel pen and covered up that final day that was extra in the bottom row. You can see it in certain lights because the gel pen dries a little shinier than the paper on its own, but otherwise it's pretty unnoticeable. Method number 2. This is another one I use pretty frequently, and it's to cover the mistake with a black pen, let that dry, and then write over the pen with white gel pen. This is basically the opposite of our last method, but it can be really cool to get a bit of an inverted look. This is what I used to fix the days of the month on my November calendar. I covered each day with a little black circle using my Secura microns, and once that dried, I rewrote the days of the month using my white gel pen. And there's no way to tell that this wasn't the way it was meant to be all along. Method number 3. This is one that can be really nice if you have a larger area to cover or if your paper isn't as resistant to layering multiple mediums on top of each other. For this method, you're going to use paper from your notebook to patch up mistakes. This is a method I love to use in my husband's DINGBATS notebook because the back few pages are perforated, so it's easy to neatly pull a page out and cut out little pieces to glue on top of any mistakes that come up. If your notebook doesn't happen to have perforated pages, I would highly recommend just cutting out one of the back pages when you first get the notebook as neatly as you can, and then just storing it in the back pocket that most notebooks come with these days. That way it's always there, and if you need to create a little patch for a mistake, you have paper right there that is a perfect match. Just cut out a piece that perfectly covers your mistake and glue it in, and you're good to go. I used this method in my husband's plan with me for November because I had a couple dots of bleed through on my setups where I'd gone over the same spot with Tombows a little bit too much. So I used some leftover paper from a page that he had pulled out at the back and created tiny little patches. You can see them if you look real close up, but otherwise they completely disappear into the paper. The texture and color are perfect, and as a bonus, I have dots in exactly the places they're meant to be. Method number 4, glue in decorative paper. This one's really fun, especially if you enjoy scrapbook style bullet journal spreads. But if you have some different types of decorative paper on hand, like black craft paper or tea stained paper, you can easily rip out a piece and glue it over your mistake and then just draw on top using whatever pen you like. These pieces of decorative paper on my setups for October were chosen purposefully for their aesthetic, but easily could have been glued in to cover up mistakes. Method number 5 is to cover up mistakes with stickers. Sometimes you work on a larger area and it just doesn't turn out at all the way you like. I've read so many messages from all of you talking about times when you messed up a page and it made you upset, so you ripped it out, or you flipped the page and tried to ignore it, or you glued it to the page in front of it. And that always makes me sad because I'm sure there's something redeemable about the spread. I'm sure it's not nearly as bad as you think. But if you really dislike what you did and want to start over, let me offer you an alternative solution. Instead of ripping the page out or gluing it to another page in your notebook, why not recreate the spread on a separate piece of paper, scan it, and print it on sticker paper? Then you can cut it out and stick it right into your notebook on top of whatever it was that you weren't happy with. This sticker I created specifically to be a sticker in my BuJo, but I could have easily used it to cover up a large surface area that I wasn't happy with. Sticker paper is readily available online and comes in a bunch of different finishes. You can even get sticker paper that is removable, so if you place it and aren't happy, you should be able to pull it up and place it again. Now that we've talked through my 5 top most used ways to fix mistakes, I want to give you a little bit of a bonus method, which is to learn to embrace the mistakes that come up in your BuJo. I know it's hard. I am a perfectionist through and through, but sometimes mistakes happen in your BuJos. Sometimes you get smudges. Sometimes you misspell something. Sometimes you finish your spread and it's not at all what you'd initially planned. But that's okay. Your bullet journal is supposed to be yours, and there's no reason why it has to be perfect. I think one of the best things about a BuJo is when it's completely filled in and you can flip through and see all of those little mistakes and little quirks that make it uniquely yours. A bullet journal does not have to be Instagram ready to be worthy. I definitely think that having a bullet journal has been helping me work on not focusing on perfection as much as I have for most of my life. Things happen as you use spreads for their practical purpose. They're just not going to look as pretty as they did when you started. Sometimes you're going to try to draw a straight line with a ruler and completely mess it up, but who cares? Sometimes it's good to practice just letting go of the little mistakes, embracing them for what they are, which is little quirks that make your bullet journal unique. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments your favorite ways to fix mistakes in your bullet journal, or alternatively, a time that you embraced a mistake you made in your bullet journal. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye, friends. Thank you so much to my patrons for your support. Y'all are incredible, and I'm really excited for something I'm going to be maybe sending to all of you as a special holiday thank you. So look forward to that. Extra special thanks to our newest patron, Sabrina. Welcome to the squad. If you at home want to join the squad, check out the link in the description box or in the card. Don't forget to check out my past few videos here and here.